What's up, Starcraft fans? They're doing the tier list for Blind Tribute on Chain of Ascension. Brian, let's hear this week's mutation.
Chain of Ascension is the map where we have to support Jinara in her fight against Taemon's champion. To support Jinara, each player needs to stand a unit near Jinara to push her along the track to the southeast corner. If we push the fight all the way to the southeast corner, we win. But if Amon's forces support their champion and push them all the way to our corner, we lose. Kill bots spawn from enemy buildings and your units have tiny vision. Kill bots cannot be attacked and will only despawn after killing a preset number of your guys.
Alright, so we have Twotuuu and Eviling today. How are you guys?
Good.
Sore from lifting evil concrete, but elated to be here.
Alright, I'll accept that. Twotuuu, how will we rank the commanders this week?
All right, so for blind tributes, good commanders should be able to feed the killbots and clear the map pretty easily. A third small factor to consider is how well the commander fights with short-sighted, because it's not a big thing, but it's kind of important in this one.
How about you, Eviling?
Definitely these two mutators are very annoying. Definitely killbots is more deadly than annoying.
Killy.
Yeah, yes. But knowing how to feed is going to be very important. Knowing how to deal with short-sighted, you can kind of brute force your way through that. You kind of can't really brute force your way through killbots. You have to have a plan for that.
Kind of, unless you're, well, two commanders specifically. Anyway, let's begin. Abathur, where do we have him?
For Abathur, Toxic Nest luring is actually not so difficult because the area around Jinara is not affected by short-sighted, so you get full vision there and you can lure from the middle. So you get like brutalists, and then you do the usual except you feed with evolution chambers spread around everywhere, as many places as possible. Clearing, you probably want Leviathans, so that if killbots spawn nearby, you can fly over like a cliff and then they will run away from you. He can feed for a long time and long enough to like clear the map. So and he clears the map pretty well with Leviathans plus Guardian assistance. So I put him in A.
Oh, that's higher than his usual B. Anyway, for those of you guys who aren't familiar, evolution chambers are fantastic for feeding killbots because they spawn doodlings. And each doodling counts as a kill. So essentially, you can feed 7 for the cost of 125, which is the drone 50 and the evolution chamber 75. How about you, Eviling?
I had Abathur at a strong A, kind of sketchy B. Yes, he can feed very well. The only thing I would like to add to that is make sure to, while you're getting your brutalist, keep going with your macro, because you need to be able to have all those minerals that you would normally float with Abathur, building just evolution chambers all over the place.
Sure. So that's actually, well, almost unanimous. I had him in B, but both of you had him in A, so let's have him in A. Alarak, where do we have him?
Alarak. So this is going to be one of those mutations where most Protoss commanders are going to suffer, and Alarak is one of them. His choices for feeding are probes, supplicants, pylons. You can be real masochistic and try to feed destroyers from P3.
Feed Wrathwalkers.
Yeah, sure. That's complete economical. If someone's insisting on Alarak, I would actually suggest going with P1 and kind of leverage kill bots to have them kill your supplicants and power up all your mech, and just try to sustain that way while you have a banger mech, as long as you can keep supplicants on the field. I have him at C to D.
How about you, Twotuuu?
I think P3 is better because just attempting to feed and survive is a losing strategy. I think you have to clear the map as quickly as possible. P3 focusing solely on clearing is probably your best bet. Of course, you like incidentally feed like probes with your extra minerals, since you're probably not going to use Alarak at all. You would probably just use supplicants, and then not supplicants, destroyers and death fleet, and then teleport out if there's a killbot nearby.
How quickly do you need to end the game or full clear the map before it gets too messy for Alarak to deal with?
Before 20 minutes?
Before 20 minutes. That's fairly fast. A lot of players don't finish before 20 minutes.
Short-sighted makes it even harder, because the mothership must like take some hits.
Yes.
If you have like a feeding ally, then you can
Just focus on
make
full clearing.
warp prisms, make warp prisms, so your overcharge can also help clear.
Okay, assuming that you have 20 minutes to clear, how many empower me's is that? It's like 3, 4 empower me's?
Or realistically 4.
Realistically 4. Where do you use those 4?
I don't think you would use Alarak, except for maybe the hybrid fights. Like you don't use him to clear. I would use him for hybrid fights, and that's it.
I thought he'd be pretty good for, using the empower me to just clear big areas. But all right, that's fair. So where do you have Alarak?
I put him in C because his clearing is good. His feeding is
All right.
It's non-existent.
Although I'm not sure like how to. I don't know like if it will average down or something later on.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure if he should be even lower.
I actually have him in
I
D.
feel like his clearing is good though.
Yeah, that's true. His clearing is good. Both of you had him in C. I personally had him in D, but that doesn't matter. We'll have him in C instead. Without prestige, still C.
No, without prestige, he's terrible.
All right.
Without prestige, he'll be like E.
All right. Let's move on. Arcturus, where do you have him?
He has ESOs and he actually can feed quite well. So his clearing is very weird because you have to take over the middle of the map to reach the far bases with ESOs. But the good thing is he can feed for a long time. He can feed for a long time with his troopers.
It is inhumane.
And since you can clear the map with ESOs and feed quite well, I put him in B.
All right, that's not too insane. How about you, Eviling?
I actually had Arcturus from S to A just because he can feed well. So that takes care of the kill bot portion. And then you can also launch Zergs and they can feed the kill bots a little bit more. Then ESOs help negate the short-sighted aspect of it.
How do you?
Does the Zerg count? Does the Zerg actually feed? Like I don't think the kill bots target the Zerg. Really?
My concern with the Zerg is I don't think it matters much whether they feed or not because they just kind of move away from the kill bot. They find the target and they run away from the kill bot, so it doesn't actually feed the kill bot because they just run off and the kill bot doesn't chase them.
Depends on the placement. If there's an enemy nearby, then there's the closest target. But it's not reliable.
I feel like it's a waste of 25 mandate. I'd rather use that on a bunker.
Oh yeah, that's without a doubt. That is without.
My concern is how do you address the early game when you have to feed and also power up and also clear?
Well, early on, depending upon how you manage your build order, usually for Chain of Ascension, I do not go for the early expo. I try not to fast exam because I feel mandate is much more important. Because you want to have your 100 mandate before that second wave hits. So while generating your mandate, you should have enough resources to trickle out some troopers in order to help to feed and then get an ESO up in your main in order to kind of start helping get division and then start bombarding your expo. Then after the second wave comes, then either deal with a hybrid wave or go out and expand and then just get stabilized at that point.
All right, what do you think, Twotuuu? Does that sound like ARS?
No. Because you have to move, like relocate and rebuild your ESOs
in short-sighted. Building in short-sighted is more annoying than you think.
And like because you're going to middle, you have to like know which angles the bots will come from, and the escort waves will come too. So you don't want to lose units to the escorts, but if you do, then you're just like wasting money. So you don't want to lose, and it kind of depends on the enemy comp, because if they outrange you, then you need to like waste your ESO time looking ahead to shoot them down. ESLs are also not very reliable for killing because you might leave a pylon or something behind. So like to make sure you need an army or something to go check, or you wait till a killbot spawn there, then you have to go check. If you spend too much time in one area, then you're wasting time. So it's like it's an option, but I don't think it's great.
An S option, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I can agree with to not S, but building in the middle. That I mean, usually when I build ESOs for Minx, if I'm on the spawn on the top side, on the top player side, then I just build at the expo. That covers most of the map. It doesn't cover the hybrid, the last hybrid area, but it covers a good portion of what's necessary.
Can you clear the right main base from there?
Yeah, you can. I usually, if it's Terran, usually I build the ESOs on to the right of the right gas, and then you can start hitting the nuke silos from there, and then stop the nukes from coming.
Wow. So what do you think, Twotuuu?
I don't think it's an easy or reliable way to be like compared to just building evolution chambers or the other A commanders.
Actually,
His method of feeding and clearing is a lot
more
less reliable.
And I find that Arcturus' clearing or feeding method is expensive. You need an expansion to be able to feed the killbots. If you delay your expansion by hunkering down on one base, that's just not going to work in your favor. The math will not work in your favor. That's why I actually do agree that he's B for this one. But do you have one more case to make, Eviling?
Well, okay, so you don't have the second base up early, but you do have mandate going. So how much before the first hybrid wave spawns, how many killbots are out already? Three or four. So those are 10.
5. They're 5s.
10
5s.
5s.
So you need to have a total of 15. 15 troopers before the first hybrid wave. That's pretty doable, I think.
I mean, it's true that you don't lose a lot to killbots in the early game, but for me, the bigger deal is that you're not getting your expansion in a timely fashion, not fast enough that you can actually afford to feed the later game killbots. That was my concern.
I don't think it's a good idea to wait for 100 mandate for the 7-minute wave. It's probably better to drop a bunker and contaminate strike it.
Oh yeah, just keep it in place.
Or if it's round and just ESO kill it.
That's
I usually build the first ESOs like at the end of the below the ramp near the expo.
How many ESOs do you have for the second wave?
Like 5 maybe.
Okay. So
if
you got
P1, you get mandate from them, so that's better too.
Okay, so you got to make sure you hit that good. Have something hold the wave or something to that extent.
If it's all ground, you can just like
shoot
whack
down.
Kill them. Or if it's mixed, then you kill most of the ground and then you finish off the air with like a bunker, and then you feed them to the bot.
Fair enough. Well, I'm a little biased. I mean, most people know I like Arcturus a lot. So
I mean, I like Arcturus too.
Yeah. So maybe I'm a little biased, but yeah, if you guys are saying B, then I'll definitely yield to B.
All right. Without prestige, still B, right? Doesn't change much.
It doesn't change much.
No. All right. Artanis, where do we have him?
Arty farty. So again, apparently I'm stuck with the Protoss commanders. Yeah, he sucks. He can't. If you're playing non P3, he's actually making things harder for you and your ally. Yeah, and short-sighted. Like one of Arty's, if he's going with mass goons, that negates the range advantage that goons have. So yeah, I'm putting him to D to E.
D to E. How about you, Twotuuu?
He sucks at clearing, he sucks at feeding, but because he doesn't completely hurt you by existing, because he can just build nothing but probes and still be helping, I put him in E.
What do you think, Eviling? Put him in E? Oh. Without prestige, it's definitely F because Garden Share will help Amon here.
How is it that bad though? You just have to hold position. It takes longer, but like, is it that much?
It changes targets. Sometimes when it reaches your base, it'll start hitting your infrastructure and stuff.
If you just dump the things you're feeding in front of it, I know that it's bad because it takes longer, which means like if you want to walk past it, it's annoying. But if you have like a set area for feeding, is it really that bad?
You have to consume more supply in things that are ready to feed to the killbots. Because you have to stand
as fast.
Yeah, they don't die as fast. Unless you're really on point with your macro, but most people are not.
If a attack wave or harass wave coincides with where the feeding is happening, it could throw it off.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
All right, yeah.
So with prestige, his E, specifically the third prestige, because that's the one that doesn't have Garden Shell. Without prestige, definitely F. So there we go, right?
Yeah.
Dehaka, where do we have him?
Dehaka is an interesting one because for this one, he feeds like a Protoss since he doesn't have cheaper lings. He doesn't have evolution chambers. True. But his pack leaders are so good at clearing the mission, not the map. I went for a mission clear and I beat this with my last structure dying. But I only used pack leaders and I made like 3 creeper hosts to take out the enemies in the middle.
Cool.
But the rest rest was just like rush pack, push Janara, pack leaders, kill the hybrid waves, keep pushing, all lings and drones for feeding.
All right.
His pack leaders can clear the map really well, so I put him in B.
B.
However, there's another thing to consider, which is that if your ally doesn't push and the mission takes longer because he doesn't push, then that's gonna make it much worse for Dehaka. But
True.
if your ally is pushing, since it's not polarity, as long as your ally pushes, you can fight all the hybrid waves and clear stuff. So I put him in B.
How about you, Eviling?
I have him from B to C for pretty much the same points that Twotuu's making.
Yeah.
He can clear fast, but feeding wise, yeah, he's not the greatest, but he can manage. So he's not at Abathur level or another Zergs that we have yet to mention. But yeah,
Everyone
B-
knows which
B
two
sounds good.
Zergs those are anyway. Yeah, B sounds fine. Let's put him in B. Phoenix, where do we have him?
Another Protoss. This Protoss, I think he's a little better. So for this, I would actually, I mean, his Avenging Protocol is great. A killbot kills one of your champions, they just get more angry and send in another one. For this, I would actually recommend P3 Phoenix because discount that you get after the champion is killed and converts to the next shell, you get a discount for any shell that you purchase from then on, and then so eventually your angry zealots become free if you're just feeding the champion. And then short-sighted, I mean, the downside of P3 Phoenix doesn't really matter. It's already short-sighted.
Yeah.
So I have him from B to C.
B to C. How about you, Twotuuu?
He's Protoss. He can't be that good. So he's like Artanis, except like his observers are a little cheaper because they're 2060, at least for P2, I think. I don't know if it's always 2060, but his observers are slightly cheaper, and that's it. And his clearing
His
is
really
better,
good.
I guess.
He's at least
like,
Alarak level, at least.
No, because
Yeah.
Alarak, if your mothership encounters a killbot, you can fly away or teleport out. For Phoenix, you have to teleport out. You
No, I
can't
mean
fly away.
his clearing is Alarak level, at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like that clearing includes having to deal with stuff that suddenly appear in front of you.
I guess that's
because like
true.
if a bot appears in front of you and you continue clearing, you're gonna lose stuff pretty fast.
All right. My idea was
Yeah,
actually just
so-
to use one angry zealot and just keep replacing it, and everything else just goes to feeding.
I don't think that's cost efficient.
It's not.
Because you can't.
Yeah.
I don't
I'm
think
not-
that's very cost efficient.
But
So
it's
So
it's
his
going
cle-
to it's
yeah.
going to hammer its way through eventually.
Yeah,
that's why I think he's better than Artanis, but not that much better. So I put him in D.
still D. Wow, that's kind of rough.
Ouch.
How about you, Eviling?
He's
mean,
at B or C.
I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think D because Phoenix definitely feeds better than Alarak.
Yeah, I think he's maybe a low C. I wouldn't put him in D. D sounds, I don't know. He definitely seems like he feeds much better than he feeds better than Alarak. He
How
can
does
feed
he
better
feed
than
better than Alarak? Because if you're
Observers.
feeding probes observers, then where's your money for your army?
You don't need a lot. You just need zealots. You just need sentinels. And
Then you're using all your minerals for sentinels.
not all your minerals.
What's hitting the air?
I guess you can save some for right. That's the air thing is all right. That is
How are you
that's a
gonna
good
clear the
argument.
middle with no air?
No air.
Anti-air.
Yeah, you can probably use some, I don't know, Talus for that. You can use maybe Mojo, but yeah, that's a good point. The air's an issue for Phoenix. All right, I don't know. I still don't
I would
think
say that he
he's-
does clear the hybrid waves really quickly. That's what he's good at.
I would still put him in a low C. I don't think he's bad enough to be D. I don't think, at least. What do you think, Eviling?
I kind of feel that you guys are hinging on like P2 Phoenix a lot. I'm really trying to push that. Yeah, P3 makes things a lot more economically viable for kill boss.
You mean you're just using Talus and Caldalis and running in like it's P2 but it's P3 instead, and you get the refund every time they die?
Pretty much, and I'm throwing in Mojo, of course, and pick for any air threats that come along, and pretty much like should be able to afford it.
I feel like where your shell farm will get killed by killbots, or you must teleport them out, and it's like to reposition them. It's kind of
The issue I see with the third
time loss.
prestige, the issue I see with the third prestige is that the time is a big factor. So at some point the bots start coming in from multiple angles, and you can't just feed the same champions at them because they need to push down the middle and through the enemy bases.
I mean, if you can feed champions, that'd be great. But if it dictates not that you gotta feed shells, it's not that big of a deal. If you have, let's say you got both your bases going, you should be able to afford eight gateways at that point and just spam them out and kind of just brute force your way into it. If you can get your champions into the face of a kill bot, great. If not, if they start taking shells, it's not that major of a deal. If they're taking your centurions and your adepts.
There's one more. P3, you don't have as much life, so every time you die, you have to you're gonna die more. You get your money back, but you're gonna die more, and your gateways are gonna run out of charges unless you have lots of gateways, which is less money for other stuff because you're dying so frequently.
Usually 8 gateway can handle it but yeah,
especially since the enemies aren't really buffed. They're the same enemies.
Exactly. In terms of them you kind of want, it's kind of in some sense a blessing that they are have lower health. They feed the bots faster.
I don't think it's.
But every time you run in, you're gonna lose Caldalis. Then Talus can't see because of short-sighted. Then Caldalis has to run back if your shell farm is too far.
Yeah, I can see that being an issue.
Have you seen how fast P3 Rage a lot and
he runs fast, but you're gonna run out of charges, and if you're you don't have a pylon, then you're gonna run out of shells.
Well, for P3, usually I do not send just the champions alone. The shell farm or the shells are not that far behind. In fact, they are probably with the champions a lot of times. So it's essentially like playing P0, but with just the enhanced avenging protocol kicking in very often.
I feel like I'm more reinforced in my belief that he's a maybe bottom of C. I don't think he's bad enough for D, but not good enough. I don't think he's B. B sounds all the problems mentioned, the weakness against air, the Protoss thing where you don't really have a dedicated food unit. You don't really have a mega hero option. You do have several minor heroes, but you don't have a mega hero option like pack leaders, which, by the way, I think. Do pack leaders ignore short-sighted?
No, it's not afraid of the dark.
All right. But anyway, I'm seeing all the problems for Fenix, but at the end of the day, he's still pretty solid when you push. I think he's still low C, not quite D. But I guess we can. How about we just put him at bottom C for now, and then after all the rest of the commanders have been put in, we'll recheck where he eventually deserves to be. How about that?
Sounds great.
All right. We'll just revisit Fenix later. We'll have to remind ourselves of that, and if we forget, I don't know, the comments will remind us.
I made a note of it already.
No, that's fantastic. Okay, let's move on. Han and Horner, where do we have them?
Han Horner is okay because their feeding is okay, because especially with the refund, and that helps your ally too, so that reduces the economic damage. And strike fighters are good at picking out the things that hit air, so your wraiths or your allies' air units can go clear bases. Of course, you probably need a Raven to see where the exact spots of the pylons or stuff, the bunkers are. You also have Call in the Fleet. I don't think Call in the Fleet is affected by short-sighted.
It's not.
At least it's not afraid of the dark, so you don't have to look.
The Raven's sensor tower vision sees all the hidden buildings, right?
Yep.
You see the dot, the red dot, but you don't know what it is.
Well, that'll definitely be helpful because when you're short-sighted, the looking for lost buildings part could get annoying. So I can see that's a big plus. But anyway, where do you have Han and Horner?
Han Horner, I put Han Horner in C because the feeding is not bad. It's average to good, and clearing is not that bad.
That's brutal. How about you, Eviling?
I have Han and Horner from B to C, kind of for the same reasons, but not as brutal as Twotuuu. They putting points into your double salvage will help you and your ally. It's the Raven, having the Ravens kind of helps negate short-sighted. So I mean, they handled both of the mutations. They have tools to handle the mutations. I would be more inclined to go to B, but I'm also not opposed to C.
I actually had him in B, but both of you are okay with C, so I'd rather not go against you. Let's have him in C. Karax, where do we have him?
Karax. Oh, his options for feeding probes, which is not the greatest, but if you are not running P3, then you could churn out a whole bunch of probes, which is going to get very expensive for your mineral supply.
Probes, by the way, that have Unity Barrier and regen.
Yeah, yes. So they just, I mean, they still go down pretty quickly, but it's just that extra shot. They last a little longer. Not as bad as Guardian Shell. So I have him from C to D.
All right. How about you, Twotuuu?
Karax also, it's like Artanis. Bad.
Yep.
He doesn't clear. Well, like your clearing is it's gonna be top bar clearing, which is really slow.
Really slow.
Especially if you don't know the exact locations of the buildings, because if you get too close before you siege your observer, you might get shot down or something. Top bar clearing, it's not dead of night, so it's like so you might not be as familiar with the building spots
layout
and whatever.
Yeah.
If you use carriers, that's all right, but you can't see ahead, which kind of sucks.
Yes.
So they're gonna get hit. So I put Karax in E.
Ooh. How about you, Evilly? Oh wait, you did say C to D.
I said C to D.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to E.
I'm not opposed to. I had him in D. I'm not opposed to E either. So I'd rather go with you guys. If you guys both say E, let's have an E. Kerrigan A. No, that's just kidding. What do you have him?
Kerrigan. So you can use evolution chambers. Omega worms stall, but they don't get rid of the bots.
Yes.
You're probably gonna use P3, so you get more money, but you don't get resources unless you have vision of the unit. So if you like
rough.
immobilization wave and they're not in your short-sighted vision, you don't get their money.
That's rough.
Brute lords will be a good way to feed, because you can actually shoot your own omega and make brootlings, or you can shoot the brootlings that come from the first attack to make more brootlings.
I've done that before.
Yeah, so that way you can continue pushing, and like P3 Kerrigan also snipes air units pretty well, so you just like single or double tap the carriers or whatever air units there are. Feeding is decent. So I put Kerrigan A.
How about you, Evilling?
I also have Kerrigan A to B.
Nice.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, unanimous A.
Same process. You can use Omega Worms to stall, feed Zerglings if you really need to, but evolution chambers would be preferred. The last time we had kill bots on the mutation, I actually went with P1 Kerrigan and just stumped out a whole bunch of creep tumors, and that actually kept the kill bots fed.
That's smart. All right.
You can do that with any prestige, actually.
Yeah, you could, but it's just I went with P1 just because it allows Kerrigan to move the queens forward.
All right, A, unanimous A. Nova, where do we have him?
Nova. Oh man, her options for feeding are few and far between. You can go with P1, get a bunch of ravens, drop a bunch of turrets to have them for feed and also kind of for defense.
The healing drones too.
Yep, defensive drones. Otherwise, with your stockpile of minerals, make some extra SCVs to have on the side just in case you need to feed on. In odd places.
Just don't stand the SCVs under the defensive drones.
yes, that'd be super counterproductive. I have her from B to C. She can clear the map fast, but her feeding options are a little funky.
How about you, Twotuuu?
She's in a similar position as Alarak, which is her, like if you use P3, you can clear the map extremely quickly, and you just like nuke. Your nuke is also wider, so you clear so many places, and you just sabotage drone, and you won't be disrupted by the killbots since they will ignore you.
Yes.
Feeding options are very limited, which is like basically SCVs and Raven turrets, and that's about it.
Yes.
I would also maybe have one pair of Banshees, so that like after you clear most of the stuff, you can just go to the next area, and like you don't want to use a sabotage drone for like one building, so you have your pair of Banshees finish it off or something. I put her in C.
Sure. Everyone seems to have her in C. I also had her in C. Let's have her there. Raynor, where do I have him?
Raynor, clearing sucks. Short-sighted also sucks, because if you scan here, that's 5 fewer Marines for killbots. So he's much better than any of the C commanders for feeding, but his clearing is just trash. So I put him in C.
How about you, Evilling?
He's like pure feeding, and maybe if you use like your call downs to help clear stuff, maybe. But
Jimmy's
he's basically a crappy feeder.
Jimmy's gonna be collecting a lot of dog tags. Eviling. Where do you have him?
Oh man, poor Raynor. But I definitely do not disagree that he's kind of dog crap for this because so early on, so don't try to pull this off with P1 Raynor. It ain't happening. You can, or unless your ally is gonna really hard carry you.
Unless you're
It's
Lila.
gonna.
No.
I don't know. I don't know if Lila can pull this off with P1 Raynor. I'll be surprised, but he can pull
I
off
won't
some fancy stuff. Early on, you're gonna need those mules to get your income going because you can't really feed early on. You think you can feed Marines early? It ain't happening. You need to have at least 3 to 4 orbitals up, and even then, it's still a little sketchy because you have this other mutation, short-sighted, which it's nice that your orbital scans can negate short-sighted, but you need to get to that point where you have so many orbitals where you can dump mules all over the place and dump all the Marines to feed all the kill bots and negate short-sighted. That's like the ideal situation, which cannot happen for Raynor because he won't be able to get off the ground. So, yeah, I have him B to C.
B to C. How about you? Oh wait, Twotuuu said C. All right.
Yeah.
I also have him. Actually, I also have him. Where do I have Raynor? I also have him B to C. But Twotuuu says C. So yeah, I'm okay with C. Guys, talk to my comment section. A lot of them will see Raynor having mules and scans and say, hey, hard counters both mutators. Talk to them, guys. What do you say to that?
He hard counters them in the ideal situation, but you have to get that economy going. You don't have time in Chain of Ascension to get it going. It's gonna get frantic real quick.
The map itself will get you. You may think you have an answer to those mutators, but the answer to those mutators, if you really focus on them, takes away your ability to do the map itself. That's why he's not a high rank. Let's move on. Stetboy, where do I have him? Finally, a good one for Eviling.
Stetmann. Oh, the S. This is my S. He can feed. He can brute force his way through it. He doesn't have a good solution for short-sighted, but having Stetalites all over the place kind of helps with that. But yeah, he can clear fast. He can feed well.
How about you, Twotuuu?
Maybe I shouldn't have used infestors. Maybe I could have cleared faster if I didn't use infestors, but I don't think he's S just because it's later on, like trying to spread Stellalites is difficult with a killbot trying to like shoot him down all the time, because if they come up the middle, all the ones that you had up before will be shot down.
True.
So if you're using P1, like those P1 enthusiasts, you're not going to clear the map quickly. So you need P2 to clear the map quickly. You can't get the hardened shield upgrade or else your lings won't die. So if you use F2, then you're gonna move all your lings away from where they should be. So you probably, if you use F2, you want to burrow your feeding lings. So
definitely.
But then you don't want to use your lings to attack if they don't have the hardened shield, because they will just die. So clearing is mostly just scary, which is why I chose infestors, since infestors you can, like, the roaches can die and it doesn't matter.
Yes, you can feed using the roaches.
So I put Stetmann A. He's good, but he's like, you gotta kind of work for it.
Here's my reasoning. I put Stetboy in A because those two guys exist. They're my S.
Yeah.
That's the long short of it. Those two guys exist. That's why it's not S. Are you okay with that, Eviling?
It's not unanimous, so yeah, A is fine.
All right, there we go. All right, Stukov, where do we have him?
I don't know if he's S or double S for this one, just because like it really doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter, right?
It really doesn't matter. And short-sighted, so what? You call that Alexander? You steal an air unit or their observer, and now you see. You steal an air unit. You see stuff.
And even if you
All
don't,
you need,
just rally your infested further forward than the enemy base. They'll naturally walk forward until they can see.
you don't need. Some people might want queens for the side. I don't think that's necessary, especially since you can, but like
absolutely.
You would put it on a queen, not on an infested unit. Also, you can just walk a barracks forward so that like your barracks with infrastructure tanks while provides extra range or vision for your infested infantry. And you want to put I think it's better to put barracks in the paths of the kill bots so that, because like if you don't pay attention, they might shoot down your bunkers. Whereas a barracks has a lot of HP.
Yeah. All right, we'll put him in S for now and decide later if he's double S. Oh wait, Eviling first. Where do you have him, Eviling?
Yeah, begrudgingly, it's going to be a P3 Stukov week. So yeah, I
What do you mean begrudging? I love P3 Stukov weeks.
I hate P3 Stukov with all fiber of my body, and this is going to be the
What do you
P3
mean?
Stukov fest. So, yeah, I do not disagree. He's going to be S for this week.
All right.
I think the angst in me is just going to keep him from double S.
Well, let's move on.
People
Swann.
think I don't like P3 Stukov. I love P3 Stukov.
Right? It's
I
amazing.
just understand him, and he's not always great.
Let's move on. Swann, where do we have him?
On again, the problem with feeding slow. Short sight is gonna screw him over. It's almost kind of like he's having Protoss issues. I don't know what to say about it, but yeah, I have him from C to D.
Oh, by the way, when you feed with SCVs, you have to switch off the repair.
Yes. Yes. You can't have them bunched up or else they're gonna group hug. Make sure to turn that off autocast.
How about you, Twotuuu?
The only thing good that he has is concentrated beam, which clears the middle in like 2-3 shots.
All right.
And pulse cannon for the hybrid waves.
Stuff, yeah.
That's about it. Everything else, like his feeding is trash. If you forget to turn off the repair, then it takes longer.
It's trasher.
There's one thing you can do, but it's not reliable. At least for the early game, you can just repair.
Repair, yeah.
Four SCVs can repair a command center, and they can like stop like 4 kill bots or more. Until
nuts.
the 10 kill ones come, it won't die.
That's pretty
Like
nuts.
you can I remember I held off for like 14 minutes or so without feeding a single worker.
Start your own killbot farm.
Yeah, I tried it, but it's too hard, so it didn't work.
All right, so
But yeah, I
letter.
put him in E.
E. Wow, E is pretty harsh, but I actually kind of see it.
I agree. I said C to D, but he's definitely having Artanis level and Karax level issues.
All right,
And Swann and Karax are best buddies. Best butt buddies.
let's put him in E for now. Maybe we can see later if one of them gets to be D. Tychus, where do we have him?
Tychus is great for clearing a mission or the map. His feeding is meh, but the good thing about his feeding is that you can use serious turrets or you can use SCVs. Since the enemies aren't that much stronger, you don't have to buy that much gear. So that's more money for SCVs.
That's true.
And you just big red butts in like the middle, then the last base, and you can clear the map quickly. An alternative strategy is you use rattlesnake plus cannonball, and then you just like have them hold one whole side. You just throw the healing stick on cannonball holds position, and it's like stop. I think that would be better on like the top path, not the center. You wouldn't want to do that in the center.
All right.
But yeah, that's an option to avoid feeding so much, but like it won't last forever.
So letter.
But yeah, I put him in C.
C. How about you, Eviling?
I had Tychus in B to C. Serious turrets. If you have P1, you can spam a lot of serious turrets and do a good amount of feeding.
Seriously good.
Seriously good. But yeah, definitely make a few extra SCVs, have them on hand just in case something slips through. Clear the map as fast as you can. Just either full clear or push your ally to boop Janara into the pit as quick as possible, and don't let the mission go beyond 20 minutes if possible.
So C.
C.
All right, everyone says C. I also had him in C. Vorazun, where do we have him?
Vorazun, another Protoss commander. What she has going for her is time stop. That actually delays the timings of the map. As I mentioned before in past videos, it's going to make less kill bots that you have to deal with overall, but you still have to deal with them. So you need to have a good way to feed somehow, or at least stave them off. You can use NN, the greatest thing for this Chain of Ascension. You can do the time stop skip for the last hybrid wave, which can definitely help out a lot.
Your ally just has to know what you're doing. Otherwise, he may ruin the time stop thing.
Correct.
There's one counter anti-ruin thing you can do, is that if you're in the solo queue, for example, and you've cleared out the last camp before the pit, and you're ready waiting for the time stop, you can drop a dark pylon between the Rak'shir and the pit, and then recall your ally's workers so that he can't F2 them away, and then drop time stop at the perfect time, and your ally's workers will be the ones supporting Janara, even if your ally doesn't know what to do. You can force your ally to know how to do the time stop cheese, right?
Just make sure you have enough energy for that.
It's your first. Oh yeah, just make sure you keep 25 spare energy by the time the last attack wave, the last hybrid wave will be about to spawn. So anyway, where do you have him?
I have him C to D.
C to D. How about you, Twotuuu?
Vorazun clearing is not as good as the Protoss C commanders, but better than the E commanders. Also, Vorazun has a late game feeding option, which is stasis wards.
Ooh.
That's
Ooh,
so like the problem with Vorazun solos for killbots is she never makes it that far. She just dies. So if you somehow can get far enough, you can actually mass oracles and feed, like help feed a lot, and they're free because oracles like the it's just energy.
Yeah,
so you
just
just dump
energy.
a bunch of stasis wards and so but if you don't get that far, then you're just gonna die. So I put her in D.
Put her in D. What do you think, Eviling? Also D?
D is fine to me. That's exactly, I said C to D, so
All right.
D works just right.
Now the other guy. Zagara, where do we have him?
S, no bio launchers. No bio launchers.
Oh.
Don't need them. You don't need them. And it's everyone's favorite, P1.
Yeah, right?
Short-sighted is not that big of an issue, but
Not at all.
however, it's similar to the Stetmann thing, which is that if you F2 your army away, because this time you actually need your army to fight. If you F2 away, then like killbots might get, because you might be out of position. But her lings spawn instantly, so you can like be.
You can also burrow.
Yeah, you can also burrow. That's another.
Burrow
option.
the Zerglings.
But yeah, S.
S. How about Eviling?
Yeah, again, begrudgingly, this is going to be P1 Zagara spam. It's going to be a P3 Stukov, P3
It's amazing.
P1 Zagara ally
It's
ally
beautiful.
spam this entire week.
It'll be
So,
magnificent. You should be Evil. You should be thankful that your ally will know to spam these two commanders because you can actually use some of the C commanders who are great for clearing, and you just leave the feeding to your ally. It's actually
That's fair.
Yeah, it's actually a great week because your allies instinctively know that these two guys are the S tiers. They don't need this. You guys don't need this tier list to know that Stukov and Zagara are the S's. You know, clicking this before you clicked on this video, you know that Stukov and Zagara are both S tiers. You were just waiting for me to mess up somehow. I'm not gonna do. I'm not that stupid, guys. Anyway, so Zagara S tier. Let's move on.
Yep.
Zeratul, where do we have him?
Wow, I just got stuck with all the Protoss commanders this week.
Yes, you did.
So that's how it works. So of all the Protoss commanders, Zeratul is definitely going to be higher up because he has his legion that could handle things. You don't really have to think about short-sighted for them. You just point them in the direction and let them do their thing. And if they feed killbots, great. You saturate quickly, so you can have just have your nexuses pumping out probes to feed extra, and watchers don't take up your supply cap.
Yeah.
And then later on, if you get your economy rolling, cannon's good. Cannons can feed.
But you need
The shadow projections can feed.
the child
So
can feed. That's pretty cool.
I have A to B.
A to B. How about you, Twotuuu?
This is one of the few times where I'll recommend P3 because Zeratul's going on a solo mission.
Yeah.
And
gonna be spinning
everything,
to win.
all your money is spent on feeding. So 4 nexuses, 3 robo base, and just feed
Just
nonstop.
spin to win.
Yeah, spin to win. I use the suppression crystal so that for every hybrid fight they are slowed, and then I spin to win them. And I made like 3 cannons so that I could project and like stall, so that I could like block the killbot while Zeratul gets away.
That's really cool. All right, so where do you have him?
But I put Zeratul in B.
B. All right.
He can feed for quite a long time. I did not go for full clear. I went for map clear in 22 minutes.
All right. I actually had him in C, but both of you guys are okay with B, so we'll have him in B. Now, do Stukov or Zagara deserve a double S, or do they just stay in S?
Stukov, yes. Stukov, maybe. Zagara, no.
Zagara, no. What do you think, Eviling?
Why would Zagara be a no? She kind of turns on a little earlier than Stukov, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think she clears a little faster.
She clears faster, but there's like no worry about anything. No need to burrow. No need to play differently with Stukov. You just do the exact same thing as you always do. And if a killbot comes, you infest structure, and you're now safe.
That's true. Stukov is more worry-free, which is not. Even though he's not strictly quote unquote stronger, the S tiers have that quality of just making this mutation a cakewalk. So I can see both arguments. But I think I would rather play Zagara than play Stukov. But
Same.
yeah, but
Same.
I see a lot of players who would pick Stukov because of that It's so easy. It's so brainless. They can just do. You just pretend it's a regular brutal mission. The only thing that would make this a mutation for you is that it's a little annoying for you to put down your infested bunkers because you need vision on it. That's about it. So if it's not Yamas, it's not double S. So if you don't think that Stukov is double S, then we won't have a double S. What do you think?
Cool.
Eviling, because he was wondering.
Yeah, I still like Zagara she can feed with lings, she can feed with banelings, not preferred, but can. She can feed with evolution chambers. Stukov can only feed with infested coming out for the bunkers or infested coming out of compound.
I mean, you can't beat free. You can't beat free.
Yeah, you can't beat free, but it's still fighting to secure. I kind of feel to secure. So both sides require you to get your expo to have that economy to do it. I feel that P1 Zagara would be able to secure the expo a little more confidently than Stukov. You're waiting for P3 Stukov. You're waiting for your Apocalypse to come out in order to clear that expo.
All right.
Stukov doesn't need the money. He's not worried about getting economically hurt from his killbots.
Yes, he just gets a little annoyed.
Yeah.
With Stukov, I didn't even clear the map. I just because it doesn't matter if they reach my base. I just infest the structure and 15 kills. They're gonna kill 15 broodlings.
That's fair. That is fair.
So with Zagara, I did clear the map and the mission faster, but with Stukov, it's just more spending time moving bunkers forward.
With Stukov, I can actually talk to my YouTube viewers about random stuff like what I had for breakfast, which somehow has become a thing.
I think we're just gonna have to give it to all the P3 Stukov fans out there. I've seen your comments. There are a hell of a lot of them. Let's just make them double S.
All right, and there we go with the movie magic of pausing my video recording. Stukov is now double S. Hooray! Zagara, top of S. Hooray. So, who's top of A?
Top of A. Stetmann.
That boy? All right. Are you okay with that, Eviling?
No objections. I wanted Stetmann a little higher, but yeah, I like it.
Oh yeah, he was an S candidate, wasn't he? All right.
Yes.
So yeah, he's definitely top of A. So then Abathur and Kerrigan.
That's a hard one.
I think Kerrigan. I think Kerrigan might be a little easier because she can still feed with evolution chambers, but she also has the option of Zerglings, and she has immobilization wave to clear the way for your Zerglings to clear the buildings. So I think Kerrigan's a little higher. And then
the Omega Worms for stalling.
Omega Worms too, yeah. I think Kerrigan's second in A.
I don't think it's a good idea to use Lings to attack the buildings, though. I would just use Brute Lords and because you don't want to waste money losing Lings to enemy units. But
that works too. I meant to use the Zerglings only after you use immobilization wave so that the defenses have been cleared out. But that works too, yeah. And then and then Abathur rounds out A. Top of B. I think it's Dehaka, right? Top of B.
Yep. Yeah.
Dehaka.
Dehaka or Zeratul?
Safer.
He's safer, yeah.
Because if Zeratul dies, you lose a minute, and that's bad.
If Dehaka dies, you just lose 5 workers.
Not that. You just summon a pack leader.
That works too. All right. Who's next? Zeratul. Then Arcturus. All right.
Yep.
Then for A, who's top of? Oh, rather, sorry. C. Who's top of C?
C's are there for different reasons.
Yeah, it's kind of.
There are 2 feeders, and the rest are clearers.
Oh wait, we agreed that Phoenix is bottom of C, right?
Yeah.
After all these guys have been placed in, does he rightfully belong in C, or does he need to be moved elsewhere?
I'm okay with him in C. I think Twotuuu wanted to put him into D.
Seeing now that no one else is in D, is Phoenix closer to Vorazun than he is to the rest of the C guys?
No.
Because Nova and Tychus don't need a lot of economy to clear.
Phoenix does, yeah, but so does Raynor.
Raynor's not clearing. Raynor's all feeding.
All feeding.
Raynor doesn't clear jack.
He's just a marine bot. JYK would be proud.
Yes. Hana Horner does need economy.
Hana Horner is better than Raynor, but I don't know if he's better than the other ones. Because you can't feed forever.
Well, I guess we'll come back to that.
Goes a long way.
Who's top of C? This is tough because they're in C because they're different reads. C is just we don't know where to put them tier. So they're like C.
They're not above, but they're not below.
I
think Nova is a little above Tychus.
Tychus?
Yeah,
wait,
she can
top of C. Nova? You think Nova's top of C? With the
Nova
nukes?
can clear carefreely, so you focus on throwing SCVs and stuff.
Plus, you just know that your ally is gonna be either a Stukov or a Zagara.
You can't expect that, but you don't know how many people go in solo queue expecting their ally to be that, and you pick Nova, they pick Artanis, and okay, well, see you.
I think when that happens, you just kind of You just kind of wink at you.
Look
Just
at each
kind
other
of
awkwardly.
look at each other. Yeah. You expected Zagara too, didn't you? You expected Stukov too, didn't you? All right. So that doesn't move our discussion anywhere. Fantastic.
I
Well,
put
yeah, I
Nova
think
top
it's
Nova's
Nova
top?
top.
Alright.
Then Tychus next
and
under.
Tychus.
Tychus next, then Hot and Horner.
Yep.
Then Alarak.
Alarak.
Then Raynor. I was between saying Raynor and Jimmy, so it became Rinny. So Raynor, and then
I would
Phoenix
put
last.
Phoenix before Raynor.
Phoenix before Raynor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
Phoenix
he
does
can
clear.
still duke it out. He's not a pure feed bot.
I can actually kind of see that. Raynor fans in the chat malding.
Good thing there's not many.
Scan. He has mules. He can counter both mutators.
It died at disruptive artillery.
Died literally anything because he just spent the whole game feeding.
Gotta fill those buckets of lube for JYK.
All right. I'm okay with either one being higher or lower. I'm okay with either one. But I think since Twotuuu insists that Phoenix is D, I think we'll just have to put Raynor above Phoenix because of that. And then D will have Vorazun. Then for E, does it even matter which one you pick? Every one of those guys will be bad.
They're bad, but I would say Swann is better than the other two because his concentrated beam is at least useful.
Does
Yes.
that-
Clearing the middle.
Does that merit him in D?
No. He's still bad, but he's better than the other two.
He's less.
Yeah, I
less
mean
E.
we're just arranging E, and then he's definitely he doesn't suck as much as Artanis, and he doesn't have Unity Bar or
Because he's
auto
not
repair
Protoss.
problems.
Karax is better than Artanis, so.
All right.
Yep.
There we go. All right.
Karax, yeah.
That's our tier list for this week. It's actually pretty C heavy. I didn't actually expect this to be this C heavy, but not one single Terran or Protoss commander in A. That's crazy.
Stetmann can repair.
Stetmann
Stukov
can
can repair.
That means technically Terran.
No. He's Zerg. It's
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah, on his
negotiable.
victory screen, he's a Zerg. I get it. I
It's
get
Zerg.
it.
That's crazy. I remember that one guy who made a tier list, Blue Zerg 44. He put Killbot very high in difficulty because he played all these commanders who were tanky. He played Tychus.
unit?
He played. You're not specifically hero unit heavy, but yeah, I think he did play Tychus. I remember him saying he played Tychus and Dehaka. So yeah, you're pretty tanky guys. So he would have a kind of rough time. My advice to you, Blue Zerg 44, is level up either Stukov or Zagara, so that when Killbot comes up, you have an answer. Pick one of those, your more favorite commander. They're both really easy to do. Those, don't worry about it. Anyway, watch Twotuu's channel. I will link it down below, and I'll see you guys next time.